No one spoke for a while. Only the griffins breathed heavily, and the mist crept along the road as if nothing at all had happened. At last, Malaka said softly, "This way." She began to walk down the roadway, and the others followed. Soon they came to a great, crenellated, ornate iron gate, or wall of black stone, overgrown with vines as thick as ropes. In the wall stood an ornate iron gate. As they approached, the mist before it drew back, and light sprang up on either side. Then the metal gates began to creak, open of their own accord. Beyond them, the small path lights glowed one by one, leading away into the fog. At last, the mist thinned, and the windows of the vampire castle kindled with a cold yellow light. "Count Bullock is expecting us," said Malaka. Darrell gave a dry smile.
So much for a surprise.
He turned to Pern and Callisto.
Remain here if you can.
Pern bowed his great head, and Darrell stroked the feathers of his neck. Then the company climbed the stone steps toward the gate. They had scarcely reached the entrance when two death knights stepped out from behind the wall. Their armor was black, their faces hidden, and their swords were long and heavy.
Round two,
said Extar. Malaka stepped in front of the others. "I will summon something to help us with gate guards." She raised her hands towards the death knights and began to hum. The sound was low at first, then deeper, until the very stones seemed to answer it. On the other side of the gate, a shape began to form, huge, hunched, and terrible. A behemoth appeared, blinking as if it had been dragged out of sleep. For a moment, the creature looked confused. Then it saw the Death Knight standing before it. The behemoth snarled. With its enormous clawed hands, it seized the iron gate and ripped it from its hinges. The two Death Knights spun around and raised their swords to face the monster. Then Malaka began to sing, "Away, Behemoth, away, run now." At her song, the great beast turned and loped away toward the castle, shaking the ground as it went. The Death Knights looked at one another, and then, as if all thought had left them, charged after it with their swords raised. Darrell looked at Malaka and shook his head, smiling despite himself.
"That was clever,"
he said.
"We do not need to open the gate now."
Zola took the lead and flew over the wall while the others passed through the ruined gateway.
All right.